And we're live.
We're back.
Pablo, let's talk about the importance of keeping your word in a, let's say, in a business setting, but this applies to other things. Tell us what happened recently about someone said they were going to call you back and never happened.
Right. So I'm looking for someone in the lending field with a particular set of skills. And so we went to this presentation, and there was this young man there that we've met before. He's super cool, very nice, very professional, very cordial. And I asked him, "Hey, do you do this?" And he said, "No, actually, I don't do that. But I know of someone that does that kind of work." And I said, "Oh, okay. Would you be able to refer them to me?" And he says, "Absolutely. Let me have your business card." Actually, I gave him my business card. And he said, "I'll call you later on today."
Call never came.
The call never came. And it's been what now?
Couple weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit over 10 days, I think.
Okay.
And no call. So, of course, he forgot. We get into the routine of things.
Yeah.
And the further you're separated from that occurrence, the lower on the totem pole it gets in your mind.
Yeah.
But, it's extremely important, I think, if you tell someone that you're going to do something, you got to do it. Come hail, high water. Because if you don't,
Yeah.
That's to a certain extent your reputation, right? That's how I feel about it.
Yes, and you would be better off just saying, I'm not gonna, don't say I'm gonna call you back same day, or don't say, or you're gonna call, like say I'll call you tomorrow or something like that, because when you do that, or in a week or something, you look really, your reputation, like you said, if you cannot accomplish the simple task of returning a call, what makes one think the confidence drops that you're gonna accomplish bigger tasks, like actually being able to handle a deal or your money or whatever the case.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, and it's happened to us a lot. There's a lot of people that what surprises me is in a business setting, right? And then it's also happened where you see somebody who says I'm going to do it and they do it. And that's also very cool because okay, they're someone of their word. I'm going to call you tonight at this time and boom, they do it. For me, if I don't put it on the calendar, on my phone calendar, it doesn't happen.
For me too. So, but I'm specifically talking at the moment in business settings.
Right.
We're out there, we're on the streets, we're talking to people, we're in the real estate business, in the insurance business, and I can cite you right now 4 occurrences of people that have mentioned to me, I will call you.
Yeah.
And they have not. And in the old days, I would end up calling them and saying, "Hey, did you figure this out?" or whatever, and move on. Nowadays, I'm very picky with the people that I choose to be a part of my team, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So if you tell me that you're going to call me and you don't call me back, I don't call you. That's as of the last 10, 15 years,
Yeah.
I'm very particular on details. I'm very detail oriented. And so I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I've made mistakes too.
Yeah.
We just returned from a short trip, and there was a gentleman that had called me, and I told him, as soon as I get back, I'll call you. Well, when I got back, I got sick, and the flu hit me, and I was under the weather for 3 or 4 days, and I didn't call him. I could not speak very well, and so I ended up calling him to say, "I apologize, I didn't call you. I told you I was going to call you on this day, and I didn't, and that's because I got sick. My apologies." And the conversation was received very nicely. Okay?
Yeah.
So, of course, we're not perfect.
Yeah, people forget things and they say, oh, well, we'll give someone a second chance and all that. And it makes sense. But I think at a certain point you begin to elevate your standards, let's say, and so in a professional setting, especially in business, I guess it's different with friendships. Hey, he didn't call me that day. Yeah,
That's
that's fine,
different.
no big deal.
Yeah.
In a business setting, you're thinking, at least this is the way I think, right? What else are you not on the ball on? I mean, if you literally look somebody in the eye and say, I'm going to call you later today, and you don't, maybe see, I've given people the benefit of the doubt. I remember recently, it's different, by the way, if you're pursuing something and you're following up on a deal, for example. Like, I've called the guy 50 times trying to pursue a deal. I spread it out. I send a mailer, I'll email. I don't do it all at once, but I don't want to harass the person.
Right.
But I can follow up with somebody many, many times in different fashions. That's different because I'm pursuing a deal. But this was actually you giving the person business, them saying, I'll call you back. And so they must be either rolling in the dough. No, but either way, it doesn't even have to do with money. It's just you said you were going to do it.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it's a good principle if we could just not make promises we can't keep.
Oh. No.
Because if you, something as simple as, I remember at times saying I was going to send somebody an email that day, and I got so busy, and it was late at night already, but I had said I was going to send that email, and I would get on the computer. I mean, I was already on the computer working, so sometimes that email would be sent out at 11, 12 a.m., at 11 p.m. or 12 a.m., which is not good either because it's very late and whatnot, but I wanted to make sure that I sent it out when I said I was going to send it out. And looking back, I think because I was really eager to grow and sell, and I was making promises that were very hard to fulfill. But it forced me to, I said I was going to do that, so I still need to do it. And it wasn't really the best way to do things, but I wanted to make sure I kept to it. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people, and I've made mistakes too on it. I'm sure I've said I'll call somebody back, and maybe I dropped the ball. And some people don't give you a second chance.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They won't give you a second chance. Once you start climbing, okay, and you get to a higher stratus, there's a lot less forgiveness for things of this nature.
Yeah.
And they have no qualm in letting you know, hey, you told me you were going to do this, you didn't do it, this is the end of it.
Yeah.
We come from the insurance business, and the insurance business is a business that measures absolutely everything that goes on. So we have that background where we can see all the numbers, whether it be retention, loss ratios, et cetera, right? Claims, number of claims. I mean, profit. They measure everything.
Yeah.
So we have that kind of a background. And so there's that old saying that we repeat all the time: you follow up until they buy or they die. I remember you went to a seminar and you came back with that phrase.
Yeah.
You follow up until they buy or die.
Sales.
And so, that kind of level of commitment, it's of course for the elite in the insurance industry. These guys are constantly following up because life changes on a daily, weekly basis.
Yeah.
What was a no once, 4 days ago, is a yes now. So with that mentality, I don't think you can fail. But other areas of business that we are exposed to now, because through the real estate, you're exposed to absolutely everything: title, escrow, loans, disclosures, you name it. And these things need to get done in a timely manner, okay? And we're blessed that we have a tremendous team. We're blessed that we have people that we've handpicked over the years, and we have a tremendous team. And even like that, you need to stay on top of the game,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Sure.
Um, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
you know, I
because
can make phone calls. Like right now, I just made a phone call of a gentleman that called me over the weekend. It was after 8 p.m. I was having dinner. I didn't take that call. That was a business call. Then he texted me. Then I texted him back and I said, hey, we'll work on it on Monday. Don't worry about this now. Enjoy your weekend. This is not a big issue. And I just referred it to one of my staff. So we're blessed that we have a team of people that we can delegate certain things to.
right.
I can see someone being a one-man team, a
Yeah, but
one-woman team.
it's more difficult. But
It is.
how do you build on something if you can't retain a good reputation relationship? You know,
Right.
because
Well,
business and sales is relationships. You know,
no doubt
whether
about it.
it's with customers, with teams, people in the business that are partners with you, it's all about relationships.
Oh, and I'll tell you something, and this is not coming from me. I follow all these guys that, you know, Cardone, I mean, all these people that have made it huge, and they repeat Gary V. You know, we could throw out, and they say this over and over again. This is a magic phrase, okay, guys, a magic phrase. You cannot do it alone.
Yeah.
If you really want to experience the vastness of business, you know, increase your business, scale it, you just cannot do it alone. You need a team. And you need a team of professionals that knows what they're doing, and everybody's moving forward, okay, in the same direction. You cannot do it alone. There comes a point where you're so busy that you become ineffective. And then you end up with the potential of losing business.
Right.
Because, like I said, as you start climbing up, forgiveness is
Mm-hmm.
it's not there.
No, you're working with, let's say, a CEO of a company, and you have a set appointment, and you don't call them at that time. You call them 10 minutes later. You're done.
You're done. And even, you're absolutely correct, but not even a CEO. For example, what happened today, I canceled 2 jobs, okay? One of them air conditioning and heating, and the other one roofing, because it said it was going to rain a lot today, okay? So it rained last night. So it is slippery. I don't want people up on the roof. When it's slippery, they can get hurt, and their family, man. Okay. So I canceled the appointments. The heating and air conditioning guy will be able to go tomorrow. But when I called the roofer, he says, no, I can't go. I'm busy. My appointment with you was for Monday, and you canceled it. I'm busy. I'm way out. I forget what city, he said. I can't do it. And I said, okay, well then, when can you do it? And he said, I can potentially do it Wednesday in the afternoon. And I said, okay, well, that's going to work for me, because we're just going to move this 3-ton unit, and we're going to set it aside. So not even a CEO. I'm
Yeah.
talking to my roofer.
Yeah, but anyone that's got
I
a
depend on
business-
this man. And the reason this man is busy is because he does very good quality work. He's reliable, that big R, reliable, okay? I can depend on him. So he told me, no, I can't do it. Why would I tell you I can be there Tuesday if I can't?
Right.
I might be able to be there Wednesday after 3.
Mm-hmm.
So just by canceling him, he's already pushed me out technically 3 days, because Wednesday afternoon after 3 is gone,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Anyone that's busy, anyone that values their time. How about that?
Well, anybody that's doing a good job, they bring value, he's busy, and they're no nonsense. This guy is no nonsense.
Yeah.
He told me, no. You cancel me, I know you're busy, Pablo. But you know what? Unfortunately, I have another appointment. So,
Yeah. Yeah. He values his time.
yeah, well, I mean, he's
busy.
Yeah, he's got appointments. He's already made a commitment with somebody else.
Yeah.
So he's not going to cancel that commitment to come with me. Now, I've had instances where, like our painter, he owns his company and he's very, very good. We've done a lot of work together. I've had instances where he said, look, let me see if I can move a couple of things around.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the relationship that we have, but he doesn't promise because he's not sure he can deliver, because he's already got a commitment somewhere else. So, there are exceptions to the rule always, but the point of today is, if you're going to tell someone, hey, I'm going to call you today, you should do it.
Yeah. It's a good just rule to live
Oh,
by.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's also being respectful of other people. If I'm gonna say I'm gonna show up at a certain time, you don't want to leave people hanging. If say I'm gonna call you, you don't want to leave people hanging because they may be waiting for your call.
Correct.
It just
Well, in business, I find is a chain reaction. We were talking about the podcast on the pocket watches, about gears, right? If I have an appointment at this time, I may need the answer to that question so that I can move on to the next thing,
mm-hmm.
Or I may need clearance on something so that I can go to the city or do something. Or, it's just a, so if you're an hour late here, you just may meet potentially an hour late for my next appointment if I am that busy.
Yeah,
It's a chain reaction of events.
absolutely.
And the people that are aware
No,
of
you're
them,
right about that, 100%.
oh, it's a chain
Yeah.
reaction of events. Like today, I've got 3 meetings, right? I spaced them out because of the fact that they said it was going to rain. It's not raining now, but it rained last night. I have 3 meetings spaced out. So that way I don't have this pressure of one after the other after the other.
Now, what do you think? Yeah, I think that's smart because you never know, and things get delayed sometimes too.
Correct.
No one's perfect. Things happen. What do you think would be I guess a way that we can fix, let's say, the idea that people say they're going to do something in a business setting and don't? What do you think people could do differently? I mean, I think just don't make the promise, but is there something else that may, if they're super, super busy and they forget?
Right. So I seldom make promises because I find myself, when I make a promise, my blood pressure goes up 1 tick because I'm already committed to that I need to do that. And then my brain goes to that. So I seldom make promises. I just come true. Okay? If I say I'm going to do something, but I don't want to promise, when I do, it plays games with my mind. That's just me personally. But I do have an answer. For young people like you set it up in your schedule on the phone. I do that too. But since I'm also old school, I have my agenda. And I love it because it's also like my ledger. And I write notes in it. And I've been doing this since 1986 when I opened the doors to my first business. And I kid you not, I have some of these going back to 1970, 78. and I look through them every now and then because I don't have a lot of time. But it's an eye-opening experience because I've written stuff down way back, in the early '90s and stuff, saying I'm gonna meet with Simon. This is a very important meeting, and I have no idea what Simon and I spoke about. And I've got the date, the time. I said it was important, but I didn't say what the meeting was for.
Right.
So my ledger has improved.
You put more detail now.
Right. So that I can, now I look at my ledger and I say, oh, we met because we were going to go look at this property, or we met because this was a commercial fleet insurance policy that needed this, and that. Something briefly that describes why we're meeting.
Right.
In the beginning, like I say, when God created the heavens and the earth, when we opened up our doors for the first time, I think it was April. It was a leap year, so I think it was April. February was the 29th. I think it was April 28th, 1986, when I opened up. I'm not quite sure. Mom knows, but anyway, our doors for the first time, and I somebody told me, hey, listen, get a ledger, write it down, and it's your weekly planner. That's what it is.
It's also cool because you can go back and say, hey, what did I do last week?
Oh,
when did I meet with this guy? And you can reference it, which is, I think, great, because the digital calendar,
right. So for
doesn't work the
example,
same
just
way.
so you said that, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 calls that I think will be important for this coming week. This is last week's ledger. I have all those 15, and then the way I do it is I circle it. The minute I put a check mark in the circle, it's been done. And this is just me, because I've got a lot of people
yeah.
that.
Well, I've also noticed that when you say you're going to do something, like, hey, I need to reach, you have a really good ability to remember. Like, hey, I need to call this guy by the end of the day or something. You seem like your memory, you just remember things. Every once in a while something slips,
Yeah.
whatever. But for the most part, you're clear on what you need to, like you said you were going to do something.
Hopefully. I'm very big on that R word, reliability. I want people to know that they can rely on us, okay, in our team. But I would be nothing without my team. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I'd be calling this guy, explaining what the issues are with that policy. That takes time, effort. And that's why having a good team, if you want to scale your business, if you want to take it to any higher levels, you need a team. Yeah. Absolutely. There's just no doubt about it. You can't do it alone. You just can't.
So the tip for our friends that don't call back, hire an assistant.
Hire an assistant.
To help you, if you can't remember yourself.
Right, because potentially...
hire an assistant part-time.
Part-time.
I mean, I think that's a great thing. Delegate some of the work. When you hire your first assistant, you are forced now to find work to give them.
That's right.
So it's kind of forcing you to stretch, because even though, let's say, maybe it's a little bit premature. I remember I was going to bring on the first team member, and I remember talking to you, and you were saying it was premature, and it probably was. You were trying to talk me out of it.
Oh, okay.
Because it was bringing on a team member, you have salaries, expenses, this and that. But I was convinced that was the step I needed to take.
And you did it.
And I did it.
Good for you.
Sure enough,
good for you.
It forced me to grow.
Well, see, nobody knows you.
I wasn't busy enough for an assistant yet.
You weren't busy enough, and that was my point. But I tell you what, nobody knows your business better than you.
Right. And that's that we share a lot about the business.
Right. So I was, in that particular business, I wasn't a partner of yours.
No.
I was just giving you some advice.
Consigliere.
Consigliere. But but you went ahead and did it, and it worked for you.
Right.
It's like you say, okay, you weren't that busy at the moment, but you ended up for sure getting busier because now you've got a salary, and then you hire the second team member, and then
it's kind of like you were in a different capacity. You were sharing about um, my brother who has children, so now he has to like you're forced to perform at a different level.
at a much higher level.
Like you have to be more
Oh,
on top of things, and these kids are running around.
oh.
So it's the same thing. Your team members are your family.
Well, that's another podcast, but we'll say this: when you become a father, or you become a mother, it's a game-changing thing. You're no longer, now you better be paying attention to details. You better be on your best game because that kid, it's gonna keep you up. That kid is gonna, they're sharp. They're gonna manipulate you if they can as they get a little older, and you just have to step up to the plate, and,
Right.
and your game has to get better by force. You have a child, now you have a tremendous responsibility.
Yeah.
They're the love of your life, and they make you improve your game.
Yeah. And same with team. Same with hiring a team. Because I also remember when I brought on the first team member, I wasn't productive at all times of the day. And I remember when I had a team member in the office, I was forced to be more productive because how am I going to expect them to be productive if I'm on social media?
Right.
So I had to elevate my game too. So all around, it's a good thing. But yeah, we got to get rid of this, what would you call it? Pandemic of not following through on our word.
Yeah.
In business.
Absolutely.
And also we're in a time in business, in the market, in the economy that people are hurting. Some people are hurting. Some
Yeah.
people are doing very well.
Yeah.
But we have to step up our game even more, I
Sure.
believe, in this time because competition's fierce and the market doesn't allow for mistakes now.
Well, the market is ruthless. Yeah.
Yeah.
The market doesn't care about you or your feelings. Somebody said that very prominent. I think it's that Matthew guy. He spits out all kinds of truth. You know that guy that's in Romania? He just got they
No, I'm not sure.
they put him in jail or something.
Oh, Tate?
Yeah,
Andrew
Tate.
Tate?
Yeah, Andrew Tate. There you go, not Matthew. Yeah, he spits out all kinds of truth.
Oh,
Yeah, he's brutal.
Yeah.
He's he's kind of sometimes abrasive, I would say. He's a younger form of Cardone. When Cardone was younger, Cardone has turned
Calm
down
down.
a little.
Yeah, I mean, people, they have strong views. They're successful
Yeah.
because of these strong views, but, they also maybe aren't all well-rounded per se. Maybe it's just very strong in
He
certain
seems like
areas.
one tough, no-nonsense, heavy duty.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
High-performing people.
he's extremely successful. Apparently, he's got millions of dollars. He can travel all over the place. I think he's got a jet. That makes him economically successful. Success can be measured in many areas,
Right.
depending on your upbringing and whatever you hold valuable.
Right.
So he is economically successful. That's one part of the success
Equation.
Equation, yeah.
Right. What is
He's got money. Okay, good for him.
What
God
is
bless
success to you?
Huh?
What is success to you? That's you have to, everybody has
Right,
a
what is
different
success
definition.
to you? Well, there's another guy that he's very famous. I don't know his name. He's older now. He's a billionaire. And they asked him, and he says, the best word I've ever heard in my life is dad.
Yeah.
And he said,
It may have been the founder of Lululemon. It's one of those that
Yeah,
they
he's
interviewed
old.
these older billionaires.
yeah, and he said, look, the best thing in the world is that, what is success? I think he says, I'm pretty sure. He says, success is having your children grown up and they still want to hang out with you. That's success. your children, they grow up and they go on their way or whatever, but they want to still come home and hang out with dad. Hey, dad, this and that and whatever.
That's his definition of success after having all that money.
After, yeah.
That's what he
So,
believes.
because money, you're successful economically. That's just one portion.
Right.
How's the rest of your life? Is it a mess? In fact, I'm on social media a lot. I was seeing another one where this very famous lady, CEO, was telling someone, I've got 3 degrees. I am very, very successful economically. I am an entrepreneur. And after a very successful business day at the office, I come home to an empty home. I have no husband, no children, no pets, no nothing. And it doesn't feel good.
Mm.
So,
That's another
it
perspective.
depends, it depends. You make the bed you sleep in.
Yeah.
So, and she did say something else. She said that she regretted, well, it gets political, but anyway,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Well, that's one decision that some people have to make. For example, women who pursue to become doctors, specialize in medicine and things like that.
Or engineers or architects, you have to pour yourself out.
Yeah.
Are you going to have time to develop a family? Where are your values there?
Right.
They're tough decisions, Mike. Tough.
Yeah.
But if you tell somebody that you're going to call them, call them.
We'll wrap it up there. All right, cool.